All right, team, let's improve your client's nutrition right now. So team, nutrition is a really touchy topic. It is a skill that you absolutely must have if you're gonna work in the industry of health, particularly personal training. It is a skill that requires some level of qualification and it requires a general understanding. Now, that is enough to deter people from going deep diving into the nutrition because they see this big gap of education that they don't have, or this big gap of expense and learning they need to be able to provide quality service to their clients. Now, that's just not the case. You can help a client right now with a basic Cert 3, Cert 4 in fitness, or you can just give general advice. You don't have to be a nutritionist to give general advice. You do need to stay in scope, but you don't need qualifications to give general health advice. And because of that, I have a little system that I like to use for clients straight away that we can do that's gonna help them change their diet ever so slightly to see quick results. And it comes down to the 10 meal principle. What happens is most clients hear the word nutrition and they think they've got to change their whole lives to be able to achieve goals that they want inside their coaching, training and otherwise. The reality is, yes, you could become incredibly knowledgeable and teach your clients all the skills that you could ever want in nutrition to never need a nutritionist, like I like to do. That's the direction I like to go. However, the reality is most people that I work with or have helped in the past really cycle through the same 10 meals all the time. So in their weekly repertoire, they have roughly the same meals all the time. So an attack you can do for your clients is, instead of teaching them all the principles around nutrition that they need to prosper long term, you can just get them to write down their 10 meals and then find ways to improve those meals that are in line with their health goals. Whether that be muscle gain, weight loss, or maintenance, or whatever. There's a ton of different things it could be. But weight loss and muscle gain are the main two you'll see in the health industry. So, great idea to get your clients to do this. Just write down their 10 meals that they roughly have. So spaghetti bolognese on a Monday, they might have sausage night on a Wednesday, they might have pizzas on a Friday, whatever. And then we just look at between 1 and 3 simple things we can do to help just change that meal slightly enough that it is now pushing them towards their goals, not away. Now, there's gonna be more than 10 meals, team. I understand that. They're gonna go out for tea every now and again. They might go to a friend's house when they're not in control of the dinner. That's fine. But remember that your goal is always 90% accuracy. So we're allowed to have 10% muck up. Totally fine, but we aim for 90. Otherwise, if we ask our clients to get 100% all the time, they're just gonna fail and it's gonna destroy their confidence and their attitude, and it's just not what we're trying to do, okay? So we're really trying to push for this 90% accuracy. So with your client, we're not gonna deep dive too much into nutrition, although you can on some of the other videos I've posted for you. What I want you to think about is we're looking for whole foods, meaning foods that you can identify. Whenever I'm worried about what the hell a whole food is, or I wanna move a client's idea away from if they have negative associations with whole foods, which is common. People hear the word whole foods and think yogis and vegetarians and all these things that people have weird associations with. Replace the word whole foods with foods that look like foods. Sounds super weird, but my point is that if I buy dinosaur chicken nuggets, they don't look like dinosaurs and they don't look like chicken. So what the hell are they? But if I buy a chicken in a bag or chicken breast, that looks like chicken. I can look at it straight away and there's no illusion of what it is. Does that make sense? So if I look at, for example, smiley-faced chips that are common in Australia, or if I look at, you know, Ziggy fries, or I look at whatever, noodles, It's hard to really know what it is. I understand that it's potato, but it doesn't just look like a potato. Does that make sense? Same with pizza. Like if I look at, for example, salami, I really don't know what it is. It's a meat tube, okay? Versus if I just had some shredded bits of chicken on there, if I had some bits of pork slices on there or bits of beef slices on there, I can identify what that thing is, and that's probably gonna push me more towards whole foods. Not a bad idea. So if I don't know what it is, a good quote by John Cena is if it doesn't grow in the ground or eat what grows in the ground, then he doesn't touch it. Just because it's hard to track what's going on. We want to know most of the time what's going in our bodies. Now, let's look at some really general ideas around food. Hey team, if you're liking this content, what I need you to do is follow us, support us, leave comments. We're here to help programmers be better at programming, make coaches and PTs the best of the best that we can, and it starts with programming and it starts with you. Share, like, subscribe. Without the client sitting in front of you, I can't give you exact measurements for things. However, as a general rule of thumb, most males will have about 2 palm serving of protein per meal, or should. Now, I don't care where it comes from. If you're a vegetarian, pescatarian, vegan, I don't care where the protein source comes from. I just care that it's protein. Why do I use the word palm? Because we try to move clients away from scales in the general pop. Just because we don't want clients to overthink nutrition, and people can obsess over nutrition so much that if we just keep it simple and in ways that the client doesn't have to think that much, we find better results. So palm is your hand, from the base of your palm all the way to the knuckles, in thickness and in size. And since it's your palm, it's relevant to you. So if it's your client, their palm is the size for them, that's relevant. So if you're Shaquille O'Neal and have a massive palm, or if you're Danny DeVito and have a smaller palm, it's relevant to them. Females, again, in a very general idea, is about 1.5 palms of protein per meal, okay? For our carbohydrates, males are nice and easy. They are 2 cups of carbs for their serving size per meal. Now a cup is your hand. So if I was to make a scoop grip with my hand like this and were to pour or place carbohydrates in there, that's about 1 serving for my relative size. Okay, that's just try to keep it easy. I understand that fluids don't necessarily go into your hand, so you use a measuring cup. I understand that bread doesn't fold, and you can squish bread down and force it into my hand. That's not the same thing. If I put uncooked rice in my hand and then cook it, it's significantly bigger than my palm serving. It's just cooked rice in that instance. But try to keep it simple, team. Don't overcomplicate it. I understand that a handful of Mars bars is gonna do significantly more damage to you than a handful of grapes or whatever. I get that, but just to keep it easy until you learn more about the topic, think cups of hand. So 2 for males, and it's about 1.5 for females. Again, super general. I can already feel the comments just exploding and rage. This is so common when it comes to food that people get really fussy because it's close to home. That's cool. Like anytime you're in the field of health, personal training, nutrition, understand that people are not going to agree with you and want to challenge you. Trust the source material, trust your science, keep it simple, and don't stress. It's all good. Clients are always going to have issues. Just move on. Now, for vegetables, we use fists, and we want clients to have about 2 fists worth of vegetables per meal. Now, 1.5 for females. You can kind of see this trend, right? So for vegetables, fists, both size and density. So that's gonna kind of give you an idea of the size of the amount of vegetables someone kind of needs to have per meal, and usually the imbalance on someone's plate. But fists for men, fists for female, 2 for men, 1.5 for women. And finally, fats. Fats is a little bit tricky, just because it's hard for some people to identify fats. but it's a thumb. So from the base of the knuckle here, all the way to the fingertip is a thumb serving. So think about how many almonds would be the equivalent of that size of thumb, or how much avocado, or how much olive oil, or how much olive oil, whatever, okay? Fats is usually the hardest for people, and that's okay. I understand that, but whilst you're getting educated around the topic, keep it simple with palms, cups, fists, and thumbs, okay? So here's my general nutritional template for males and females around food. So what I advise you to do, or I suggest you do, is book in a session that you're getting paid with your client. They come and sit down with you with 10 of their meals that they have throughout the week, their most common 10 things, and find a way to do a couple things. Thing one is, can you get more whole foods inside those meals? So can you start pushing their directions? So don't change what the meal is, just change what the actual sources of the meals are getting pulled from. So for example, can you go from having store-bought schnitzels into chicken breast that you crumb? Okay, now most people might not have the cooking skills, or some people don't want to cook or whatever, but in that case, can we go from perhaps just having the really cheap schnitzels into schnitzels that are grass-fed, or schnitzels that look more like an actual chicken breast? So identifying foods that look more like the thing, okay? So for example, can we go from stuff like a thick pizza base to a thin pizza base? Or can we go from full cream milk to light milk? It's very small and simple things. Can I add extra servings of vegetables to this meal without ruining the flavor or taste that the client is after? Can I keep the client's mind towards carbohydrates, not over ingest them? Are they eating enough proteins for the meal? So think about this for each of their meals, including breakfast, which is gonna mess some of you guys up. But how can I start pushing the clients in this direction until I can get better educated? Okay. 2, 2, 2, 2, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. Okay. Break their 10 meals down. Now, for some of you, this is too much information. For some of your clients, this is too much information. So let me give you another tool that can help you break down the 10 meals of the client's day. And it's called your good, your better, and your best. This team is probably the single most used tool I have in my tool belt when it comes to nutrition. Unbloody beatable. And all it is in every situation you get a choice, and particularly when you're choosing your meals, for the best option available to me, the better, and the good. Okay, we don't use the word bad or poor, we try to keep things positive all the time. Okay, so for example, in my cup of coffee in the morning, I can have, for example, a bunch of milk, 4 sugars, and a shot of coffee to have a latte. Okay, that's what I usually have per se. Now, we're trying to get their meals towards healthier things. So if our client's goal is weight loss, maybe those extra calories in the sugar are not helping us, and maybe the larger amount of milk is not helping us. So we need to try to find the good, better, best thing that the client is actually willing to do to push them towards their nutritional goal. For example, if I ask them, just drink black coffee raw, they'll tell you to F off, because that might be something that's completely unreasonable. It's like me saying I need you to do a 5-kilometer run every day after you do no running at all. Super unreasonable, and we would never ask the client to do that. So we're gonna just look at what's our best option, what's our better option, and what's our good option, or thing we're currently doing. So can I, for example, I might ask the client, can we have no sugar? They might say no. Okay. Can I have a sugar supplement, something that doesn't have the calories in sugars, but does give you the sweetening effect? I understand there's other health effects, but I'm concerned about your weight loss at the minute. Oh yeah, I could have some sativia, or I could have some equals or whatever. Okay. We can have equals. Okay, so we can put equals into the cup of coffee. Can I have light milk instead of full cream milk? Yes, excellent. Can I have potentially a smaller serving of coffee? Or can I have more coffee, less milk until we find a ratio that's a bit more appropriate? Yeah, I can try that. Sweet. So now we've gone from a rather calorie dense cup of coffee to something with equals or sativia in it, and then also with reduced milk. So although yes, I understand it might still not be the best thing for them in the planet, it has shifted the needle more towards their weight loss versus weight gain. So we've made a little win here. That's a good thing. With nutrition, you always take the little wins. You're not trying to completely revolutionize their diet and nutrition. You're doing lots of tiny little things over really long periods of time to get results. It's ridiculous when I see people say stuff like, oh, in 6-week diets and 8-week body transformations. It's not real. You're gonna screw your clients up. All you need to do is do one small change a week over a lifetime, and your client will be a brand new person every 5 years. That's the goal here. So why I'm breaking down these 10 meals is because I'm not trying to overload the client with information. I'm just doing really small changes in their meals, 1 to 3 changes per meal, or 1 to 3 concepts per meal that's gonna probably push them towards their health goals. So for example, instead of bacon, I might in a meal, I might just take it out completely, or I might add in pork that's already previously cooked, or ham, or something else, right? So with the schnitzel example, I might give them chicken breast. I might get them to crumb their own chicken breast. I might get them to use, in a mince or a spaghetti, I might get them to use a lower fat density of mince or whatever, right? We might go whole grain noodles instead of full grain noodles, or brown rice instead of white rice. It is gonna be a taste preference for the client, but we're just trying to do our good, better, and our best, okay? So I want you to try to think about maybe 4 or 5 things that you see quite commonly with your client, or do this with your own 10 meals and see how we can adjust things. We'll look at some really common ones. Pasta is really common. So I always ask, can we have lower fats in our meat sauce? So can I get the mince that I'm using to be a lower source of fat? So they have ratios in Australia on their, when you go to Woolworths, on their mince. I look at the actual type of pasta. Can I get higher fiber pasta or whole grain pasta? Okay. Can I add vegetables to it in some fashion? So can I add the classic invisible vegetables like your parents used to sneak stuff into your foods as a kid? Is that possible? Can we dice or mince some carrot and put it in there so that way the taste doesn't change, but we're just adding this value? Can I change the ratio of what we're doing? Is there a way that I can have a plate that has 2 fists worth of vegetables, 2 cups worth of carbs, 2 palms worth of proteins, and 2 thumbs worth of fats for our male client? Can I have the majority of the plate be proteins and vegetables? Is that a possibility? These are the things we're thinking about, team, when we're trying to help our clients. But again, something I want you to do is write down 10 meals you're doing and think about your good, better, best, and think about how you can make each of those meals just 1 or 2%, 10%, 15% better towards whatever goals you have. Then rinse and repeat that process with each of your clients. You will see a massive change. This is also a good idea to highlight where your nutritional skills are. Not just your understanding, but your ability to relay the information to the client. That's super important. It doesn't matter how switched on you are if you can't help the person that you're trying to coach through things. If you want better understanding on this nutritional stuff, team, I have a nutritional series on the website, on the YouTubes. Just watch it. It's used and aimed for clients, so you can just put your clients on that program, or you can do it yourself. Eventually I will release a how to run your own one, so you can start providing that service for your clients. However, at this point, we don't have that. It might be out soon though, okay? Excellent, team. Get used to that. Write down their 10 meals, make it a little bit healthier, and have fun with it. Okay, bye.